Monday has come back. Oh my goodness. Pull up a microphone and get comfortable, everybody. You know what that sound is. Come on, y'all. We already know what it's gonna be. Come on, come on, come on. Man, there is no place like Monday night anywhere in the world. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eureka Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. I am Elemental. Happy Monday. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. Shout out to the son hero of our community, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Damn it, you should be. All right? Listen, we have been doing this for 149 weeks now, y'all. 149 weeks. We do this every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these platforms and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen. It is 279-995-364. Listen, come in, join us in the Zoomverse. It is truly a different environment in the Zoom. All right, we do this thanks to some very dedicated people who pay these bills, right? So we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, the Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to newyourekan.org/contribute or hitting the Cash App at $ New Eureka Poets Cafe. All right. Make sure you're plugging in with the usual host, advocate of words with a Z, poetic license. I did hear from that cat. He wanted me to let y'all know he misses y'all greatly. He appreciates the community we have all built together. His heart is heavy. All will be explained shortly. I have no idea, but that's what he wanted me to share with y'all. All right. You can find me, Elemen2al.com. Make sure you're plugging in. It is Storm Force season. So many things going on. All right. This week's theme, ties that bind, or your network, right? This week is about the connections that we share with people, places, or things that we call home or family or familiar, right? Or who's in your network, right? All right. Next week's theme is going to be hero or shero, whichever applies to you, right? Or role model, right? What is your definition of a hero or a shero, right? Who is your hero or shero, right? Are hero and role model synonymous, right? What does it mean to be one or both, right? I'm looking forward to it. Here's just another graphic, depending on how you want to connect to it, right? Who or what is your definition of a hero or a role model? All right, that one's going to be interesting. Also, it will be episode 150. We got to make it big business. 150? Are you kidding me? Come on, y'all. It has been a ride, and we are still going on strong. All right, let's get to these rules so we can get to this poetry. All right, poets, turn your cameras on. All right, we are trying to simulate a live open mic as much as possible. We love to see the beautiful expression that you use to deliver your poetry and the energy that you give to them. Plus, we want to see if you clean your room. All right, so turn your cameras on as you're getting ready to rip. Also, as you're getting ready, have your poem ready. If you're going analog, dog ear the page. If you're going digital, have the file accessible or easily connectable. And if you're using music, which we love to have musical accompaniments, make sure it's original music, all right? We don't want the agents of the interweb interacting with our streams at all. So make sure your music is original. All right, poets, you have 3 minutes to rock. Any language, any style, any form, all right? 30-second intro. Quickly tell the people where they can find you online. If you have any socials, make sure you change your name in the Zoom. I think it's on this side. Change your name in the Zoom and put your information in the chat so people can follow you. All right. This is really about building community, folks. Truly. This is one of the greatest communities in the world. If you ask me, it is the greatest community in the world. So plug in with this community, folks. It's endless. It's endless, truly. All right. You see this word on the screen, right? This is your alarm clock blaring at you that it is time to lay the babies down. It is night 9:30. All right. There are some explicit lyricists in this room this evening, and they will let you know about it. All right. Also, some of our poets are very vulnerable, all right? And flashbacks can be very triggering, all right? The founders of our cafe made freedom of speech a priority, and it continues to run through the veins of every component. We will honor it to the fullest in every way possible. Therefore, there is no censorship, all right? Beyond any hatred or ism people may use to exploit or manipulate people, which will not be tolerated, there is no censorship. Thou hath been warned. All right. This is a true call and response space, folks. All right. After the poets open up their veins and their arteries and they give you a part of their soul, you will see this pop up on your screen. All right. This is your chance to share your energy with the room. I'm telling you, every ounce of energy you give to the poets, they will give back to you in their performance. All right. I don't care about the neighbors. It's Monday night, baby. Well, this is poetry, baby. This is what we do. All right. Let the folks know that you are here in this building. Share the energy because it does go around. All right. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know what it really is. All right. Sign up tonight is closed. All right. Sign ups begin 24 hours before the show, which is 8 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. All right. You go to full events calendar from NewYurekanPoets.org. Full events calendar. Click on the Monday that you want to perform on. You need an artist RSVP ticket to get on the guaranteed list. All right. These tickets will not even populate until 24 hours before the show. Also, there are no sign-up restrictions. So you can get on the list. Listen, and the time is picking up again. I love it. I love it. All right. The energy is back in the building. Let's keep it going. Again, I love it. Let's do it. All right. For real, let's get to it. Also, happening right now in the brick and mortar is the Monday Night Live open mic hosted by Soul. Also, Wednesday Night Slam hosted by La Bruja. We got Thursday with Thunderlove. You got Friday with Jive Poetic. And this Saturday is the first inaugural Voices and Vibes, a karaoke and independent music showcase hosted by Paul Conqueso, featuring Espada de la Luz. More information to come. All right. Tonight's list. Oh, man. Listen, this is, I love to see this, right? Colorful as always, right? Some folks that are returning, some usual mainstays. All right, let's get to it. Where are all my rowdy friends? There they are. Look at all these beautiful faces. What's good, y'all? I missed every single one of y'all. I hope y'all have had a great weekend. I'm so thankful that y'all are plugged in to this space this evening. Let's get to it. All right. Coming up first, I will get the list in the chat. But of course, we all know, right, that there's only a few people that are going to be in the top of the order, top of the lineup, right? This cat just happens to be the dapper gent that's always ready to get down. Again, the count of contact, the one and only DG Clearing. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you. Set it off in here, DG. Got it.
It is great to see you, Elemental. It is so good to be here. You can find me DG Clearing on the net. I just have to say that Poetry Out Loud, which is a national competition by the Endowment of Arts, is this month. I was asked to be one of the judges for Wisconsin Regional. I'm pretty excited. So, yeah, I've got one poem for you tonight. And it's on theme. Heels in a before I go. And this was done in one of Ron's workshops, so we got to give Ron credit for this, okay? Yeah. Heels in a collar. She came to my room, it must have been noon, only wearing heels and a collar. I didn't dare holler. She took off my clothes and looked as I shook, sitting me in a chair. It seemed she didn't care. She tied my hands as I eyed the strands, bound my feet with a piece of meat, and wrapped my thighs with some other ties, then gagged me. What a surprise. She said I was a bad boy, and now I was going to have to pay, then asked me to nod if I wanted to play, shaking my head. Oh, did I want to stay? She played the master, cracking the whip. I felt some pain, and she was some dame. She said, be quiet, don't say a word. Then grabbed a black hood, and there she stood. She unzipped the mask and covered my head. Whimpered noises that couldn't be said. This is when I thought, shit, I might be dead. She said, be still, I have a treat for you. I brought my friend who's going to torture you. Then the door squeaked open, and I heard two sets of heels. They didn't say a word, then they made me squeal. I cannot explain how two vixens are so inhumane. At some point, there was just no pain. Then I heard her say the name Jane. Thoughts of my wife went through my head. If it was her, I'd be dead. Someone grabbed my face, then whispered in a whispered voice. I heard, this is Jane, and I had cheated on her. She said she wasn't going to kill me, but I had to feel the pain and never to come home because of the shame. She unzipped the hood so I could see her face, then zipped it back up and called me a disgrace, then left me there tied to the chair, soiled and shamed. For 3 days I was in despair. They found me on Wednesday. I told them I was robbed. My dignity was stolen. To this day, I still sob. Thank you.
Mute yourself. Give it up for DG Clary.
DG, yeah.
Yeah, Valentine's Day thing going here.
Very
Yeah.
great.
Don't cheat. It's a bad thing.
That was beautiful, DG. A beautiful cap on an amazing poem. Oh my goodness. Oh, that cat said she entered the room only wearing heels and a collar. Didn't say a word. Whew, left him soiled and shamed. Oh, that's bad business, man. Bad business. Oh my goodness. Make sure you giving DG Clearing a follow, an incredible artist all the way around. Thank you, DG, for setting it off this evening. Less movement. Come on, y'all. Coming up next, the legend in our community, right? Mr. Lighthouse Writers himself, the one and only Mr. Michael Sindler. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, sir. It is always good to see you. Floor.
Okay,
yours.
great to see you. Great to see everybody. I don't think anyone can argue that DG has a wide range within his artistic abilities, and he, along with Lizzie, is just about my favorite person to see open up the proceedings. And yes, I do want to go ahead and put in the word for lighthousewriters.org, which is just a fantastic organization that has something going on for pretty much any writer. And I just cannot, again, say, just give it a shot. What you got to lose? I'm going to try and get in 3 quick pieces here. This first one is a ringa called Bridge for John Lewis. He gave more in a day than most do in a life, but he gave every day as if it was the last chance to pass on the torch of love. He showed compassion while being kicked and beaten, never forgetting that the sickness that is hate can only be cured with love. He willed himself to transform anger to action, remaining peaceful with the implacable courage and the soul of a healer. He was a bridge to the future, helping everyone cross over, his strong back never breaking, no matter the weight or pain. Bronze and stone statues will fall and be forgotten, fleeting monuments to valor or to hubris. His monument is progress. And I'm going to do another kind of bridge with the other part of why we sort of celebrate or in February. This is Bridge Paris. On this bridge, poised paradox, oldest span named new, sane beneath, sigh, sin and belief, sign. Amour's vital artery, heart in motion, beating against K. Rhythm of romance and ennui, gazing west past palaces, twilight tears sense into illusion. Question hangs in air, cold, hard, river whispers answer. Most romantic city, wrong woman, maybe next time. And finally, real quick, Triolet, and it's called Hours Before. Hours before Valentine's Day, my mind drifts back in time to you. I hear the things you used to say, hours before Valentine's Day. You loved me, but you couldn't stay. I understand that they were true. Hours before Valentine's Day, my mind drifts back in time to you. Okay, thank you, everyone.
Yeah, unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Nice job, Michael.
So good, Michael. So good. Always so good
man.
to hear your voice.
Wow.
Yeah, nice
Left
words.
Forms all over.
That is a tough Valentine's poem. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Listen, I was thinking the same thing. Shout out to the Storm God. We'll get to him. You're absolutely right, DG. Listen, this cat is, Michael Sindler is always bringing you different forms. All right, villanelles, trailers, ringers, and he's always on point with it, right? Like he's writing like he has a last chance to pass the torch of love to people, man. Like, yo, did you hear what that cat said in his first poem? The sickness that is hate can only be cured with love. Come on, man. If anybody's a bridge to the future, it's Michael Sindler. Make sure you're plugging in with that cat, a legend of our community, one of the dopest. All right, coming up next. I am so glad to see this poet. I am glad she came back and decided to grace our community with more of her words, the one and only Mia Aguilera. So great to see you, Mia. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Hope you're doing better. Great to see you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Elemental. First, I want to say happy Black History Month to all the Black poets in our community. You, each and every one of you are so incredibly talented. You enrich this space. I hope you feel cherished and celebrated this month and every single month of the year. If you want to follow me on Instagram, my handle is @miasochi. I'll put it in the chat. I have an erasure poem today. Dear Jay, I'm sorry I turned this into something poisonous. I had a dream you, my broken rib cage. I have planted herbs on my windowsill. Let the sun, their fragrant leaves. And by June, I will be effervescent, walking home with a basket of peaches. Their color reminds me you at Union Square Park. Please don't ask me to break your 20s. Please don't ask me to. From a distance, I have grown fond of the timbre of your voice. Take whatever hurt you have, and I will bury, and in its place a field of California poppies. Yours, M. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Mia.
Nice work,
Uh,
Mia.
Yeah, Mia.
That was
Alright,
awesome.
Great.
Thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
Always good to see you here.
Just
Yeah.
incredible. Appreciate it, Mia.
What I absolutely love about erasure poems, or found poems, even one side or the other, is that you're thinking about poetry, right? You're, you know what I mean? The article or whatever the piece of literature that you're taking from is on a whole nother world. But as poets, it never turns off. And I love the fact that we can make some of the most mundane things absolutely beautiful. Thank you, Mia, for sharing that with us. We appreciate you. Make sure you come back every Monday. Looking forward to hearing more of your incredible work. Make sure you're plugging in with Mia. And her pictures are dope. All right, coming up next. It's the Goatberg, the one and only, baby. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, man. It's so good to see you. Floor is yours.
Yeah, good to see you too, Elemen2al. And find me online at Horbensky on Instagram and Xander Global 35 on Facebook. And before I start my poem, I would like to also remind our audience and everybody who's listening that it is a Black History Month, like Michael Singer mentioned, like Mia mentioned. And I just thought that tonight's theme, Ties That Bind, it goes together perfectly with Black History Month. So also, this poem that I'm presenting tonight is inspired by the book Beloved by Toni Morrison. So here's what I wrote. To have our dignity preserved along the journey, we must commit something disgraceful, someone told me. Because of that sin, we feel like we're being hated, exploited, crippled, hurt within, contaminated. We cannot clean that dirt. We start to get depression. We feel that we are hurt because of the oppression. Let's learn to love ourselves, survive the desperation. We were brought to the edge. Is there a chance for salvation? We got a choice, either to write denunciations or give our sick children the crucial medication. It means to eavesdrop on the private conversations. And I must mention, since there's a direct connection, they're sending snitches to our company of bodies to make sure that our people don't trust anybody. When you commit the act so bad, you feel disgusting. This is the evil on another level, trust me. The most important thing in life is surely love. And ties that bind the partners, children, parents, friends. But slavery breaks ties with all of the above. Slaves don't know who their parents are, not even names. Their children are taken away when they are infants. They only know their owners. Others are so distant. They're driven to betray for food. Self-love is gone. They don't see value in their lives for what they've done. Those who escaped are hunted down by owners. So, when she was caught, she slit her daughter's throat with saw. But after many years, the baby's coming back. To take back what is hers, Mom paid for her mistake. Past is a ghost. It's a reminder of our deeds. And now it lives with us forever. Never leaves. And now you live with it, and life won't be the same. There is oppression, there is trauma, there is shame. The shame lives on. From times we were humiliated, and not as pretty as we wanted to be, jaded. Women got whipped for missing Corbin, same with farmers. They were deprived of civil rights, they're slaves among us. Our children are the ties that bind us to the future, which seems much better than the present. There's no truth there. We hope that future generations will be free, But there's a gap. Snails cannot have family tree. And that's the reason that they cannot claim their history. And somehow they must still exist without the ancestry. Throughout the history, nothing was done about this. Is there a way to make amends for this injustice? Remember those taken from Africa back then. Remember those who lost their lives, women and men. There's 60 million people, those poor souls who died. It's a huge number, and it can't be justified. It's just as frightening, even if the number's lesser. But we can win if we unite all of our efforts. We all have ties. We all have somebody who loves us. And therefore, each life matters. And each life is priceless.
Goldberg, you know that's how you do it. Unmute
Wow.
yourself, give it up for Goldberg.
Alexander,
Great work,
powerful.
That was
Alexander.
great.
Pretty sweet. So,
You know, first of all, let me return the happy Black History Month to everyone who has stated it. I appreciate all of you for making sure that folks know what this time of year is, right? Goldberg, I have to say that was a piece, man. You truly chose a beautiful muse, right, in Beloved. And I think, you know, the way that you spoke, how you felt about all these things, man, that in itself is priceless, right? So thank you. Thank you for bringing that energy and letting folks know what it really is, man. Thank you, Goldberg, for sharing that with us. Look, a mainstay of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with the Goldberg. Listen, tonight is going to be fire, y'all. For real. I don't know if you need your 911 on speed dial or your neighborhood fire department. Listen, it's only going to heat up from here. I'm telling you. Coming up next. Listen, we were not able to hear this poet last week, but I am thankful that they have came back. They are feeling better and they are ready to rip. The one and only Marty. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you. Floor is yours.
Hey everyone, thank you. Oh man, it's the world, man. It's a struggle, I'm telling you. I'm on Instagram, diamonds_in_the_abyss. Oh my gosh, I can't even talk straight. And then there's a link to my my blog on there. So I did write on theme. I actually was just trying to finish the poem now. So it's called "Oh, the Webs She Weaves." My mind is a jungle of words suspended on vines. My thoughts crowd every corner. In order to make sense of it all, my subconscious mutates into millions of spiders. They collect my thoughts onto a spindle and weave a network of webs made of gold. Sometimes they craft dream catchers that are able to recycle my nightmares, turning them into fabrics that I use to dress scarecrows who protect my field of dreams from destructive thoughts that inhibit my growth. Destructive thoughts that still sneak in from time to time and blow out the flames in my eyes, which darken my mind and mutes my voice. When this happens, I can't see my poems. So I have to walk with my hand stretched out in front of me, desperately searching my mind, feeling for my words suspended on the vines. My thoughts crowd every corner of my mind. In order to make sense of it all, my subconscious mutates into millions of spiders that catches and records the passing conversations of my soul, transcribing them into a network of webs made of silver. I like to sit in the center of my mind and watch my desires, my fears, my pain, my love, my passions, my daydreams, my infatuations, my memories, all coexist in this vast web of silver and gold. I inhale deep and I inhale deep and I inhale deep. And with pursed lips, I exhale slow with just enough force to release the breath from my soul. And the webs of silver and gold become wind chimes, playing the melodies that you hear in my poems. These vines in my mind are my lifeline. These vines help the world make sense to me. These vines suspended in my mind, lined with words, binds me to my network of enigma, my own secret garden, my safe place, and many days I don't want to return. That's it.
So come on, network of Enigma.
That was
Unmute
great. That
yourself.
was-
Give it up
Yeah.
for Marty.
Marty!
Oh, so
Okay.
wow.
That was amazing.
Awesome. Oh,
Glad to finish this.
Oh, thank you.
Enigma.
Thank
God
you.
Damn it. Yeah, come on. Come on. You see what I'm saying? Right? Their thoughts crowd every corner of her mind. Right? No. She said, dress scarecrows to protect my field of dreams. Gosh, come on. Come on. That's how you do it, Marty. Dope. Hope you're feeling better again. Thank you for coming through this evening and sharing your incredible work. Shout out to the paint slingers in the building. That's just something that I call people who bring the new shit, right? I used to say that a lot when my poems were almost done, right? I used to say, forgive me for slinging paint because they were still so wet, still unfinished. So shout out to the paint slingers in the building who always come with the new shit. All right. Listen, this next part of the lineup, it just had me. It just, when I was looking at it, it went Marty, terribly, merrily, like merrily, like I don't know. I'm sorry. All right, coming up next is the one and only, right? Of course, the old host or the advocate used to say, oh, her name sounds like Tara. It's Tara, But listen, the Tara Lee I know is an incredible freaking poet. Listen, this woman got books on books on books, and Mama Lee is always within reach. Listen, the one and only Tara Lee, unmute yourself. It is always good to see you, Tara. Let the folks know where they can find you online. The floor is yours.
Hey everybody, it's good to be back. Like Elemental said, I'm Tara Lee. There's my card. All my info is right there. And I'll put it in the chat for you guys, but you can check out taralee.com where you can also get my books. Yes. But both of my poems tonight, they are on theme, or at least I tried, and they're brand new. So, yeah, let's get into it. I'm kind of scared of this first one, but whatever. All right. I wrap our thread of fate so tight around my body, scream, I can't breathe, over and over, while others try to tell me to loosen up, to let go, to look at the innocent victim I've made myself. So black and blue, hoping someone will see how hurt I am. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I made a mistake. This is that first one. I don't know where I was going when I wrote that one, but hey, I kind of like angry Tara. And hopefully the Wi-Fi will stop battling with me long enough to get this one poem out, and then I'll be done. And then the Wi-Fi can do whatever. All right. I wrap our thread of fate tight around my ring finger. I kiss it, say a little prayer. I go about my day. Everything reminds me of you. The air, the room of an engine after midnight. You're no longer here, but I won't let the memory of you die. Thank you, everybody.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Tara.
Tara, thank you.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, Tara.
Always
job.
great to hear
Good job,
you.
Tara.
You'll have to do
Thank
it
you.
again and keep cutting out.
Really beautiful.
Yeah, I know, right? Mark Colby said it, right? The Wi-Fi, man. Listen, this is one thing I don't understand about the Wi-Fi, right? Sometimes it is so pristine, so beautiful, and then sometimes it looks like it went through a wood chipper. Like it, damn it. Thank you, Tara. Listen, I was able to catch some of the things that you were saying. Unfortunately, it was a bit choppy in there. But the ring, the thread around your finger and you kiss it, right? I really love that aspect of putting that kind of emotion into something. You know what I mean? You said everything reminds me of you. When you're in that space, oh my goodness, it's almost like having wings. You know what I mean? Because it just, everything just puts you in a better state of mind, right? Thank you, Tara, for coming through. Make sure you plug in with Tara and her amazing work and her many books. And the card is fly, Tara. All right, coming up next. Listen, I'm so glad we get another chance to hear this poet, always plugging in a mainstay of our community, the one and only Marilee Johnson. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you as always. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Elemental. And I too would like to wish Happy Black History Month to people. And I have 2 pankus and 3 haikus tonight. And for those who don't know what a panku is, this is a form that was invented by our very own Elizabeth Strauss, aka Deadpan Lizzie. There's a short form, which is 9 words, or a long form, which is 9 lines of 9 words, and I'm doing 2 short forms. Sunshine on graffitied buildings. I love New York scenery. Ah, come on, tears are. Do I want my obit to read when on Facebook instead of wrote poems? Loving Harry Potter, but for transgender rights. Their struggle is real. Homeless in America, an invisibility trick, sans cloak. Thank you very much for listening. Appreciate it.
Visibility trick. Woo! Unmute yourself. Give it up for Marilee.
Good job.
Thank you.
A wonderful new form that Lizzie invented.
Good job, Lizzie. Gotta feel good to be a new art form.
For real, right? This is what I love about our community, right? Is I don't know, the people in the Zoom verps and in the interwebs, shout out to the folks who are watching on social medias. Listen, what you just witnessed right here is our community kind of evolving into different spaces, right? Marilee, a newer member of our community, used a style created by one of the original members of our community, and then just ripped the stage apart using that. Like, come on. All right, come on. I told y'all, this is the greatest community in the world, man. For real. All right. Dope poem, Marilee. Thank you for sharing it with us. Oh, my goodness. All right, real quick, let me shout out a couple folks before we move on to this next cat. I already know what this cat's going to do. All right, shout out to La Tormenta in the building. I saw her. Haven't seen her in quite a while. Whitney Salgado is in the building. Always good to see Whitney. I saw the daughter of Krypton slipped in the building. Always great to see the daughter of Krypton. Ron Bremner is in the building. Listen, it just, I saw the Jedi Master is in the building. Paul Skiff. Listen, man, make sure you're plugging in with these folks. Listen, these folks don't have to be here, right? But they are here plugging in with the community, adding their energy. All right, Denisha's also here. I saw Poet Talk was watching on YouTube as well. All right, let's get to it. Coming up next, used to say all the time, Storm God's in the motherfucking building. This cat never misses. One of the Inhumans of the world, and a Storm God, the one and only Paul Conque. So unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online and the myriad of things that you got going on, brother. Good to see you. I know where the hell you've been. Let the folks know what it is. You got it.
Thank you, brother. First, I want to say phenomenal job. You're doing like beyond spectacular, beyond stellar job holding this space, holding it down. Monday nights are just, you know, magic. It feels just like old times, brother. So appreciate you, and I just wanted to honor you and give you your flowers. So coming up this Saturday, February 11th, at the Brick and Mortar is Voices and Vibes. It's our reimagined karaoke experience, because now it's featuring an independent music showcase with features, with mini games, with all kinds of stuff y'all are gonna want to be part of, drink specials. So y'all are gonna want to pull up for the vibes and not want to miss the voices that we have in store. That is this Saturday, the 11th at 8 p.m. If you want, you can go to newurican.org and then check out the calendar, click the 11th and buy your tickets, because y'all are not going to want to miss it. Once again, I also want to plug some a workshop I'm doing on the 14th on Valentine's Day with Nico Diaz. Myself and Nico are hosting Bitter/Sweet. That is a Valentine's Day Zoom online workshop. It's $10 per head, 25-person cap. We're going to be doing half bitter and half sweet. You know, the love and then the love lorn. So yeah, it's going to be a Valentine's Day. Yeah, Valentine's with the honey trap. So speaking of flowers and speaking of Valentines and broken hearts, I wanted to read a piece that I just wrote yesterday. That is a self-love ballad in favor of the holiday. And of course, I throw some karaoke in. This is called Flowers. Same bed, but it feels just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. Our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. 'Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It all just sounds like, ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that love is not a contest. Hearts are not objects of conquest, and no one can garter, catch, nor bouquet you into being made theirs. Rubber band bound, cellophane wrapped, and attached to packets of bleach, citric acid, and sugar sweet enough to trick you into thinking hollow heart-shaped candy gestures could pass for sustenance. On holidays of artifice, where saints you know strictly for heart-shaped chocolates did far more than just bless marriages, patron saint of beekeepers buzzing about the colony, healing the blind and intervening when grand mal seizures hit epileptics, but all we ever prioritize is grand gestures, roses and saccharine hearts, unrequited cards sent on some she loves me. She loves me not. She loves me. She loves me not. As petals drop, I check the clock for a message back, if not at least a double check, signifying she left me on. Roses are red. Violets are violent when thorns prick fingertips and leave us in trite cycles redundant as roses are red rum. Violets blue, dandelion seeds across the room marked with teddy bear carcasses holding on to strings of be mine. Balloons are deflated. Guess they look lifeless like me. They miss you on your side of the bed. Still got your things here. And they stare at me like souvenirs. Don't want to let you out my head. Seeing red as if bull, so far past tired of relationship experts preaching at the pulpit of bullshit. When Cupid aims his Glock with a full clip, rest assured he won't cease fire till his quiver's emptied of every dipped in pheromone, poison-tipped arrow like petrified stems, reminding me perhaps that I should have bought you flowers, held your hand, should have gave you all my hours. I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. But now I lay me down to sleep, perchance to dream of days that don't demean or invalidate those who are alone, but not lonely. Because when I think of all the tears I drop like petals, blood I let fall to the cutting room floor, as if reels of film from shoddily written Hallmark movie romance plots, knowing our worth is not ever defined by just one significant other or love in our life, but rather the magnitude of the love we decide to keep, to nourish, to feed ourselves. Because believe it or not, you can be your own Valentine. You can dine at a table for one and still have fun. You can spend this inorganic as fuck capitalist consumerist corporate shtick of a masqueraded mass decaying mulching rose-filled date, knowing we are not pathetic cucks just cause we're devoid of one certain kind of love. Realize you already have enough of that inside of you. Your heart is an entire box of chocolates of every variety bursting out the sides and seams, and whether or not the florist drops all he's doing just to drop you off a bouquet so soon to decay. No trips to Tiffany's cause epiphany came in remembering that I can buy myself flowers, write my name in the sand, talk to myself for hours, say things you don't understand. I can take myself dancing, and I can hold my own hand. Yeah, I can love me better than anyone else in this life or the next ever can.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Give it
Great.
up for
Good to have you
Paul.
back. Yeah, Paul. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes.
Gone.
Yes, yeah.
All
Be a
love,
stranger
Paul. All
on
love.
Monday nights.
Kill that mic like
Wow.
always.
Fire, fire.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes.
Super amazing. Yeah.
I told y'all, man. I told y'all. It's some expressive lyricists in this community. And listen, I need to make sure I put in a disclaimer for this dude because he has a tendency to come and do that shit, right? The one and only Paul Conqueso. Listen, this dude, I've never met a cat who can do what this cat does. He said, epiphany came in the memory that I can buy you flowers. Come on, man. Come on, man. Woo! Roses are red wrong. This dude is, telling you. Shout out to the humans in the building. That dude just does this. Make sure you're plugging in on Saturday night. Go and get some karaoke. And listen, that dude does this. All right. Shout out a couple more people in the building real quick. I did see Professor Platinum come through in the building. Always great to see you. Terry Rose Jerson, right? 1/3 of the Jersey Trinity is in the building. I saw Serene come in also. And look, somebody tried to sneak in the back door just a little bit while Fuego was ripping it, but we not gonna let her in the back door. The one and only Thunderlung Ray Jane is in the building. All right. Think you was gonna sneak in, Ray? Absolutely not. All right, let's keep it moving. Coming up next, listen, this dude always, and I don't know, maybe it's just because his name is Gusto, always happens to have all the damn gusto. The one and only, the Magus, Gustav Salas. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. And it's always good to see you. Can't wait to hear your work. Floor is yours.
Hey, Elemental. Hey, beloved poets. Great to see you. I'm Magus801 on Instagram. And I'll get right to it. This is kind of long. It's on theme. It's old shit. This is Holographic Universe. 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. Beamed up from Prague like Star Trek. I got lines going on to infinity. Some call me a poet and some a divinity, but I never take me too seriously. I'm living on the edge deliriously. Future evolution depends on our decisions now. Surmounting every difficulty will show you how. Words flowing out like Niagara falls in your lap like Viagra to keep that booty shaking as Armageddon's quaking. My rhymes erect, it's never flaccid, complex like deoxyribose nucleic acid. I've been up all night, I keep going and going and going, and where this will stop there's no way of knowing. Leo Dragon's my horoscope. I'm pyrotechnic like a great white dope. I'm on fire and everything's funny. I'm the frickin' Energizer Bunny. It's inside me, there's always more. 7 days a week I'm on 24, plugged in, blissed out, I'm inspired into cosmic consciousness. I'm hardwired. I'll live forever or I'll die trying. At light speed, I'm time defying. Real serious like the dog star, yet delirious like a drug czar. If making my own synchronicity seems like egocentricity, I've got my flaws but live life to the hilt. Love and do what thou wilt. Third eyes on like I got x-ray specs, driven to the edge of Cassandra complex, but I roll with the shocks. We're putting everything back in Pandora's box. The golden apple goes to the fairest. I'm dressed to thrill, all hail heiress. Sacrifice to Bacchus another Red Bull while giving thanks and being mindful of all the joy that surrounds us, even when all their bullshit hounds us. Back on earth where we live life, death, rebirth, and the afterlife. And I'm sailing away. Live in the now, live for today. The river Styx we all will cross. In Hades, I'll be my boss. Non serviam, I'll tell the ruler. We'll install central air. Now that's cooler. In the underworld without a care, all my best friends are there. We'll open a club, we'll call it heaven. It'll be rocking 24/7. Orgiastic revels, I'm not joshing. Dionysian, Hieronymus, Bashan. We like it spicy, got no taste for mild. Our party motors running, reborn to be wild. We're quantum mechanics under the hood, meta programming for the common good. If Einstein's relativity is E equals MC squared, this means the good times are best when they are shared. Our cup runneth over a cornucopia. This underground network's created this utopia. We make the rules by which this game is played. Got a grip on the eternal golden braid. So if you're down with what we're professing, come with us, we're effervescing. To these naked truths we're undressing. Love one another, it's a blessing. Thank you.
What? Unmute yourself.
Good stuff.
Love it,
Good
Gustav. Love it.
Talk about poetry and rhyme and good verse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love the
Loving it.
Oh, God.
Like, yo, like Gustav always has it. Always. Fuego, I'm coming at you, man. Tell me and tell Gustav how you feel about his poem.
I could hear that a million times and I'll never fucking get tired of it. It's a classic, a classic.
Absolutely, man. Listen. This is the thing about poems, right? It's similar to wine, right? They age in a way that becomes what they really were to be, right? It's kind of like Mozart, right? People were kind of digging Mozart at the time, but people didn't really start digging Mozart until years and years later, right? The poems that we write now, man, listen, I've heard poets, we won't necessarily get our greatness while we're here, but when we're gone, possibly. And let me tell you, every time people get their hands on that poem, it's going to continue to get better. Thank you, Gustav, for sharing that with us. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right, coming up next. Listen, it's time for our TES talk, folks, right? I hope you got your brainium strapped on tight into your cranium because this gentleman has the tendency to raise every IQ in every room he steps into. One thing I can tell you, he is not your damn chihuahua. Unmute yourself, the one and only Mr. Tessa Somo. Let the folks know where they can plug into your work. It is always great to see you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Elemental. Just want to remind folks, pick up a copy of my book. I want to share an international book review of my book. Here we go. If poetry could be self-help, then this is the best book I would recommend. Elemen2al, teacher and educational psychologist, Mexico. I'm not your Chihuahua, yo no soy tu Chihuahua. The second collection of poetry from Chicano author Tesosomo is very different from his first book, Gashes, Poem and Pain from the Halls of Injustice, published by Floricanto Press. That work was a collection of his best work from the last 30 years. I'm Not Your Chihuahua, published by Amoshcalco Books. His second poetry collection has special elements. First, it is a bilingual work, code switch English and Spanish, and second, part is in Spanish. This is very unique in poetry collections. This is well themed across all 7 sections via the elevation of the Mexican albur, the double entendre, an attractive narrative due to the mixed elements, Mexican albur on a philosophical level, bilingual, extraordinarily difficult to do in its translation into Spanish. The theme is uniformly distributed in each essay. The jocularity of the theme achieved across 7 essays with an invitation for reflection, humor, and picturesque narrative that makes you enjoy the whole book end to end. This work invited me to carry out a deep reflection where personally I became an agent of change. I know that it is a somewhat complicated task, but it is not impossible. I was led through a process of change at a personal level. I engage in a journey. I have never encountered any poetry like this. Important elements that I recommend from this extraordinary work would be the philosophical elevation that the author makes with the Mexican vulgar albur, double entendre, the psychological introspection aimed at not romanticizing lost identities, such as the absence of autonomy and belonging, where I am convinced was the watershed to entice me to become an agent of change. The role of the Mexican dog as an animal to universalize the human condition, a poetry collection that exceeded my expectations. It surprised me with its leading elements. The most important thing of what is inevitably rescued is what the author achieved with his narrative, especially for me, a subliminal invitation to make a reflection beyond myth and ideologies, but to also become agents of change. I wish there was a greater distribution of this poetry collection. Thank you. I encourage you to participate in that adventure.
Okay. Oh, okay, now unmute yourself. Give it up for Mr. Tesasoma.
Great job, Tess.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Great review, poetic review.
Incredible review.
That was
You
a
are
beautiful
well deserved,
review
so
there.
well deserved. Yeah, loving it.
So I'm gonna come right back at you, leadoff hitter, Mr. DG Clearing. Tell me what you feel about when a person writes a review like that to a piece of literature they read.
You know, being that they probably don't know Tez at all, it's pretty damn incredible. I would probably cry if somebody wrote that about one of my pieces. You know, I should probably review everybody's work far more than I do, and I apologize that I don't. But it's things like that make writing, as far as an individual writer, well worth it hearing that about your work. So congratulations. I've read your work. It is incredible. Thanks.
Thank you, DG. Truly appreciate that. Listen, it is that, right? In order to listen, what that person said was Mr. Tesasomo inspired them to be an agent of change. You know how powerful your words have to be to jump off of the page and really sink into someone's heart to make them want to be an agent of change? Ah, Mr. Tez, I told y'all before he has a tendency, right? Now, that's even further, right? Because now he's expanding and raising the IQ of all people around the world. He is incredible. Thank you, Mr. Tez, for bringing that to us this evening. All right, coming up next is a newer member of our community, a newer mainstay, and always has something on his heart to say. Last week, he had the cliffs up there, and it looks like he's a little bit distant from the cliffs, but they may be the same thing. I'm looking forward to it. The one and only Mark Colby. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you. Floor is yours.
Oh, good evening. Okay, it's working. Yay. Thanks. M Colby me. That's my Twitter. MCOLBYME. I don't use it much. I'm just starting to. This is a piece that's been around the block, and I keep fiddling with the ending of it. So I did that again. It has to do with, I think, the topic in the sense that there's a connection in our country with people fighting for rights, and I think people getting together for that's a beautiful thing. I grew up in a time and a place where I could actually see the race riots, although I was very young, like 8 years old. And here we go. This one's called House Burning. Don't know about social issues, equal rights, right to bear arms. Don't know about assassinations, special interest, national interest. Don't care to know what I should think about them either. like feeling good watching life on TV, like being there, like doing the right thing, like helping the poor, like so sad to hear her killed, sad and happy at what I hear, happy and sad at what I see. I live happiness and saddening in 60-second intervals. Wonder where our common sense went. Did we send it, ship it off out of here? How did it get past the border? How come some government agent didn't stop it? How come some committee isn't investigating it? How come the press isn't doing a follow-up story? Somebody, some TV somebody with a microphone somebody could ask me, how old were you? 8, I would say. How do you remember? Oh, it's my brain. I would tell them how my house looked like nobody was home, how in the dark room with the drapes drawn and lights off, my small head glowed and bobbed in the bright TV light, how I watched news of tanks, jeeps, National Guard soldiers, smoke out my window. I didn't think hating blacks was good, never saw anything good come from it. Don't know anybody who has. Don't know about social issues, about right to bear arms, about equal rights, about racism. The little boy still sits in the dark room in front of the TV, still runs to hang on the window ledge, still sees smoke out his window, still looks for tanks, soldiers, still looks for Whitey coming to torch his house. Thank you.
God damn it, Mark Colby. Oh, dude, just
Thank
go
you,
give it up
Mark.
for Mark
Wow.
Colby.
It was great to hear you, Mark.
Absolutely incredible.
That's deep.
Thank
Yes,
you.
such good
Thank you
words,
so
such
much.
incredible, powerful words. Thank you, Mark, for being part of the community. So appreciate it.
Man, Mark, give somebody a warning before you do that shit. I was not ready for that shit. Woo! Oh my goodness. That cat said National Guard soldiers. Man, you right. I see. I saw that, Black Swan, right? 60-second intervals, 100%, right? He said somebody with a microphone, happiness and saddening in 60-second intervals. Come on, right? But I love what you said. You said little boys still sits in the dark room, right? Sometimes that is synonymous or metaphorical for what we actually still see, right? Sitting in the dark room saying, nope, this is the way it should be. This is the way things are. This is the way it should be. Not opening their eyes to what's actually happening in full color right outside the damn window. Thank you, Mark Colby. I was not ready for that. Give somebody a damn warning before you start doing that shit. Great poem. Appreciate you, Mark, for coming through. A mainstay of our community. Make sure you're giving Mark Colby a follow. All right, coming up next, I have not seen this child of the system in quite a while. Listen, I have seen some of the posts. This cat is a mover and a shaker in his city, right? He's just a peaceful dude. His smile is always across his face, man. This dude is truly plugged in. I don't know where you've been, or if you've been on a great journey or writing a great American novel. No matter where you've been, I am glad to see you. Unmute yourself, the one and only Jody Summers. Welcome back, man. It is great to see you. Floor is yours.
Hey, everybody. It's been a while. I missed all of you guys. And yes, I have been on a journey. This is my 10th publication. Bring it up a little bit more, which you guys helped write. So the time that I was on there, you were getting to hear everything from the childhood trauma series. It's a book about everything. And I was sitting here going through all of the pieces because I've written some new stuff since then. Shout out Toledo, Ohio, my city. That's my artwork back there. That's my clothing brand that came from artwork and words. Happy Black History Month. We raised the Pan-African flag for the fourth time, fourth time in my city, thanks to dedication and hard work. And it's also in the commissioner's thing, which I'll be at tomorrow, delivering my second poem of Black History Month, but I don't want to be too long. And I have some other poems here, like 3 or 4, but I think the topic is where you come from or something like that, or what shapes you. So I got a beautiful piece, and I believe you guys heard it on, again, shameless plug, childhood trauma series. I know it's a little shiny right now, but this piece is called I Grew Up on PBS. Let's begin. Peace. As a kid, my family didn't have much growing up, but we did have public broadcasting. I would sit there and watch the screen and imagine, yes, imagine a different life. We didn't have cable or satellite, and our vacations were only as far as public transportation would take us. So I sat there and absorbed all the information I could glean, watching the electric company, Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street, This Old House, Bob Ross creating happy little trees, reading Rainbow, the Magic School Bus, the various amounts of cooking shows, and how to DIY. I was always amazed by the Masterclass series and how these amazing creators got to be the person they were. The fundraisers were interesting, but I enjoyed the orchestras more than anything. Bill Nye the Science Guy, Schoolhouse of Rocks, and Nova took the cake. As I got older, my life was nothing like I saw on the screen. I couldn't find Big Bird or the Cookie Monster, and I always seemed to run into Oscar the Grouches as I got older. No Super Grovers or Elmos appeared, and there weren't too many happy little trees. I felt like I had made a mistake somewhere and definitely took a wrong turn into the feeding cage of Jack Hanna's Animal Show before they were put on the screen. I found myself lost for many years, and then one day I decided to make a change. I took a right, yes, a right, at Mr. Rogers' house, instead of the left that put me down this road. I saw the familiar face of Snuffleupagus, and I continued down Sesame Street, guided by the reading Rainbow, and paused at the completed old house. I finally found those happy little trees and grabbed a meal from Julia Child. The electric company finished the streetlights just as Miss Frizzle was pulling up to take me the rest of the way. The Kratz brothers waved and showed me that the animals weren't so scary, and the count, yes, the count, gave me the numbers I needed to subtract where I went wrong. Now I write books, appear in films, create my own artwork, my own brands, and I am building, yes, building a better future for those that see me now. I get to perform all over the country with the sound of my voice and the imagination PBS instilled in me. As a kid, my family didn't have much growing up, but we did have public broadcasting. And because of those hours, yes, hours spent in front of the screen, I am here to tell you my dreams and peace. It's the book if you like what you heard. Amazon, all that good stuff. Find me on social media as Jody Summers, Child of the System.
Come on, man. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Jody.
That was
Great job, Jody.
beautiful.
Love
Great
your storytelling.
Wow.
I was so enjoying
Experience.
it.
I'm glad you took the other way. Yeah.
I mean,
Thank
I
you.
was gonna
Thank you.
do
Thank you.
time love stuff, but yeah. That's better.
Come on, child of the system. Like, yo, this is why I'm yelling at you, man. Like, where you been, man? Listen. I don't know if all y'all know about some of this stuff that he was just going hard on, man. But these things were like mainstays, man. Reading Rainbow, what? Schoolhouse Rock? Come on. Some of the wildest animals I ever seen was the first time we're on Jack Hanna's Animal Show, right? Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and shit, Lecture Company, The Count, one, two, like, come on, man. Like, that was just the business. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Jody. Always good to see you, man. Make sure you find yourself back on Monday night as much as possible. All right. We have reached the part of the show that I'm going to pass it on to the super producer of the Zoomverse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Ron, let the folks know what you have going on, how they can plug into what you do. You know what it is, Ron. Take it away.
Yes, thank you so much, Elemental. As always, what a pleasure to be working here with you. Equally, with Advocate of Words, it is so great, to be producing Monday nights. Also, I see Ray Jane in the building, my newest boss at the cafe. Also lucky to be working for her on Thursdays. We really want to make this experience online a great experience, for everyone. And thank you, everyone, for keep selling out our Monday and Thursday night, online tickets. It's amazing. Elemental, what a great energy today. Amazing. So I put in the chat how you can follow both the New York Poets Cafe and myself and Elemental and Paul Concasso and Advocate of Words. And I'm going to learn something from Advocate and Elemental because you always do these wonderful slides. So I'm going to put up 2 slides myself, 3 slides. I'm going to promote 1 personal and 2 New York Poets Cafe events coming up. So give me just a minute here. Here we go. And show selected. So the first one is let me see if that works. Again, it's been a while since I've been doing that. Show selected. No, it doesn't work. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah, got it. Okay, so the first one is yours truly appearing tomorrow in an in-person open mic at Art in the Basin in the Bronx, which is a small organization that will be that does their hybrid open mics every other week on Tuesday, 7 p.m. On 230 A Street in the Bronx. You can also Zoom in if you're not in New York City. I was told, though, that the Zoom tickets already were sold out. They are free. You can still donate and get a ticket that way. But if anyone wants to see me in Zoom tomorrow and everyone else who's performing there, just DM me. Again, I put my personal info in the chat so that way you can reach out and go ahead and see me. So I appreciate your support. All right. More importantly, I'm going to ask Paul to unmute himself again because we have 2 wonderful events coming up this week and next week. My buddy Paul, we are back. Paul, let everyone know one more time what is coming up at the New York Poets Cafe this week.
So coming up this Saturday, February 11th at 8 p.m. at the Brick and Mortar, it's Voices and Vibes, a karaoke and independent music showcase hosted by myself, but co-produced by You Down with RMT. Yeah, you know me, hype engineer, Maddie Marroquin, and we are going to have our feature for this first month, Espada de la Luz. Espada is a multimedia, multimodal, talented artist, singer. They're phenomenal. If you have not seen their work, you really want to come through. We're going to have a DJ opening up the first half hour. We're going to have mini games with prizes. We're going to have all kinds of wonderful surprises for y'all, and you can bring your own original compositions, or you can do a cover, you can do karaoke. Come through, grab some drinks. We're hopefully going to have some new drink specials for the weekend. And yeah, come through and vibe with us because it's going to be like nothing else the New Eurekan offers programming wise. Oh, and catch us on Valentine's Day too, because the New Eurekan is sponsoring Bitter/Sweet, a Valentine's Day online writing workshop that is on Valentine's Day at 6:30 p.m. Me and my fellow New Eurekan hermano Nico are going to be pulling up. coming through with some of the nastiness. We're going to be talking on the sex, the love, and the heartbreak. So if you want to come and get sandwiched into a love sandwich with myself and Nico, we only have 25 workshop spots. It is $10 a ticket for the Zoom workshop. Please pull up. Please come through. If you have a love or not, I think it's going to be a beautiful space for us to all share, heal, sharing some love, express some heartbreak, whatever we need to get off of our collective hearts. Appreciate you, Ron. You're doing beautiful work. As always, the man behind the curtain, the man in the booth on the ones and twos. You down with RMT?
Thank you so much. And I didn't even have to pay him for this, So thank you so much for you're amazing. Yeah. And hey, what better way to spend Valentine's Day? And look, Paul and Nico, 6:30 p.m. So if your significant other says, no, we should go to go to the writing workshop first. You can go together with your significant other. And then afterwards, the rest of the evening is all yours. So thank you so much, Paul. Looking forward to see you in person on Saturday and online next week. I will again, everyone can sign up for the tickets. Go to newregan.org, click on full events calendar, and there find Saturday and find Tuesday. And during the next performance, I'm going to put a direct link in again if you want to just go directly to it. For Saturday, if you don't get the tickets in advance, that's okay. You can just come to the door and pay the ticket there. It'll be great. Paul, thank you so much again. Looking forward to everything. And I loved your performance a few minutes ago. That was great. All right. So let's go on to our next performance. And I'm so happy that I can introduce her, Miss Tabitha from the Bronx, from where I am from as well. And Tabitha and I, not only do we meet here at the New Regan Poets Cafe, but we also attend writing workshops, writing circles at the library, at the private meetup. We just like, I don't know what it is, but we keep encouraging each other to write and write and write. But that is good though, because that's how we then perform. So Tabitha, I'm so glad you're back here on Mondays. Let everybody know how they can follow you, and then the floor is all yours.
Hey, Ron, it's a pleasure to be here. And Amanda, you're doing a great job. You're doing a fantastic job, yo. I missed everybody. I'm tab_001 on the gram. I'm gonna do something a little short, something a little sweet. I just came through to support. Here we go. Yesterday's corner still ring the men about tomorrow's. I missed the last 10 minutes of assignment looking out the window of a place I no longer want to be. The one who swings first has touched me before he became a father. Years of his growth leave us both in an awkward place, setting the tones of our silence. Financially, he has parted past the hearts of the men he once stood with. What was once his security has now become his place of sword. They throw the only thing given. Years of moments lost in exchange of a girl that everyone knew. As each one feels the thought of who will stand, his heart decided. The woman who have watched them grow as boys call the gods, in fear that tomorrow will divide them the same. And peace. Again, I'm tab_001 on Instagram. I miss you guys.
Well, you are here, so thank you for missing us, and we miss you too. Let me hold on a second. Let me unmute everyone so they can give you their love as well.
Tab, we missed you.
Yeah, you missed Tab.
Great job, Tab.
Beautiful.
Nice to hear your
Thank you
voice
for
again.
blessing us with
Yes.
that. Nice to hear you.
Great words. Thank you.
Much love.
Thank you. Exactly what everyone said. Amazing. Thank you so much, Tabitha. And sorry, I'm like fumbling around, but see that this is the great thing about Advocate of Words. He taught Elemen2al and I how to do this hosting here, because there is so much to do, on the back end, and the unmuting and the watching the Zoom messages. On that note, Zoom made an update, and sometimes we no longer see if somebody private messages us, unless we like scroll up. So if we miss your message, it's not that we try to ignore you. It's just that Zoom, like other softwares, keep updating it, and eventually they're going to change it back to how it used to be. But thank you everyone again for sticking around and and coming each to us each Monday, Thursday, and all the other beautiful events. So on that note, coming up next is somebody we have not seen here in the past few weeks, but hold on a second, just dealing with another issue here. Okay, so Dane, sorry. See again, trying to do some putting out fires at the same time. But Dane, it's been a while since we saw you here, but I'm glad you're back. Got to not only meet him, but I also met his wife online, a great performer as well. Dane, tell everyone, I think you host your own online open mic on Tuesdays, and I think there is a very special guest performer tomorrow. Not me, but somebody else the community loves. So tell everyone about it, and then the floor is all yours.
Okay, thank you very much for the warm welcome. Yeah, it's good. It's been quite a while since I've been here. Tomorrow the feature is Eddie Potastic, and I'll put the link stuff in the chat there. And I just want to say I have a book out called The Whole Existential Novel, and it's available for order from Revolution Books or other independent bookstores. And this is Tyree Nichols had a right to his life. They laughed as he cried out for his mother, brutalized the rest of us with this strife. Violent police state, rampant and rife, beaten under long dark night covered. Tyree had a right to his life. Hot headlights lit his murder like a knife. Photos, sun, skateboard. He was a lover. Brutalized the rest of us with this strife. The brutal ballet left us all called rife. Scorpion squad stole it in a smother. Tyree Nichols had a right to his life. The murdering and thieving silenced his life's fight. Remember, Tyree, his soul shall hover. Brutalize the rest of us with this strife. Angel, come bless this what is left a trife. We will have justice one way or the other. Tyree Nichols had a right to his life. Brutalize the rest of us with this strife. The head hangs over the edge of the bed. You're gone away, a kind of dead you left. It's like you died, vomiting on the hardwood floor. Oh, look, carrots, peas, and corn sparkle in dawn light. Superpower gone, I finger it, precious diamond light. Mourning the loss, I'd do anything to get you back. Anything disappears. These words I can never say, they will be unheard. The power of them a magic spell. Who knows what terror they may conjure. Incantation, a howl, a shout, a scream, a moan, a whisper, a sigh, a blessing, a curse, an epithet, a eulogy, a prayer. The words of gods you put in Titan's mouth by poets, a song, a sound, invocation. I am so weak. I find old pictures taken by a boyfriend who left you before I came along. Vulnerable, wet and naked, outline, sheen, moist, sunburn in Hawaii. Grief ties my heart in knots. These ties, they bind in tragedy. I lost 3 wives. 3 wives are lost to me. Thank you.
Unmute yourself.
Thank you, Dane.
It was good to hear you.
I'm really glad you're back.
I'm so glad that you did. Thank you. Thank you, Dane.
Powerful.
Very, very, very powerful words that will be remembered.
Dane, first of all, shout out Dane and Time to Arrive. They have featured lots of the community, and they continue to make space for members of our community. Thank you, Dane. Shout out his wife, Trish, an incredible poet also. Shout out Tabs, right? Good to see Tabs. Glad you made it back, Tabs. For real, appreciate you and all the energy that you always come through with, Tabs. Appreciate you. For real. All right, real quick before we move on, though, I need everyone to unmute and give it up for the one and only Ron Mark Thompson.
Hey, Ron.
Good job, Ron.
You're in the game.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Run.
Thank you. You guys make my job easy. So thank you so much for all your support.
Thanks,
and I
Ron.
appreciate it.
Oh, Ron. I don't have to say it all, man. I don't have to say it all. The community will let you know one at a time if necessary, but I'll make sure they let you know. Appreciate y'all. Truly, truly. All right. Coming up next is something again, and we just keeping it going. All right. Again, I don't know. Like I said last week and the week before, I don't know if y'all ready for this one, but it's gonna happen. I hope these little transistor boxes are able to hold all this together, y'all. But we are about to witness something fucking phenomenal. For real. Oh my goodness. For real. Strap on if you got seatbelts in your chairs. Hold on, because it's about to go down. Coming up next, we have something. First of all, let me introduce the one and only bringer of energy, the newest storm god, the one and only Zone Conto in the building, is coming through with all the energy that he generates. Also, this brother's doing a collaboration with one of the dopest lyricists in our community, the one and only Lantern Carrier. This is about to be phenomenal, y'all. I'm telling you. Gentlemen, let the folks know where they can find you online. We are here for every ounce of your poem this evening. Welcome. Floor is yours.
My info is in the chat, and so I'm going to let him speak for himself.
I'll place my info in the chat after.
So we're going to do a piece called Ties That Bind Network. I once tried to possess my lover, to bargain, to command, beating my soul on the barbed wires of joy and sorrow. Yet love is not a caged bird that I can grasp, only timeless eternal light, which if not handled well, will bind my expectations.
I, a caged bird bound by the neck, so it sings in short breaths, forgetting the words to the chorus of its own existence. So I became a stranger to my own ancestors' music, bound as I was to this grief that turned my beak into a tomb of funeral songs.
My desires were endless, and I was faced with a river of constant hurdles. I sought all that would hold me in chains within corporate policies, choking the agony of my inner longing for happiness. I lay scorched in the pain of my nakedness, blocking the light with gray clouds of pity and remorse. Wallowing in self-indulgence, I was bewitched by a cloud of cravings for fast foods and addictive fixes, pill popping taking their toll on my health, figure, and bank accounts.
Almost. Mickey did myself to death with insecurities, depressed. So I sought the drive-through therapist, knowing the voice on the other end would feed the void, because drive-through windows do not close the curtains on you, except you still have to move out of the way for others to put their own life in order too, sinning against this body, cheating against my soul.
I once asked my Father in heaven, Daddy, what is sin? That which binds you, my son, all obstacles that stand in the way of truth. He was right, as all my life I have been seeking to unmesh cobwebs, hidden within as invisible ghosts and demons.
Ghosts and demons that mistook my address for a cemetery started visiting me to lay flowers on both their graves and mine, erected a shrine where all the names of ancestors were written in braille for the black man's blind God to find without stumbling over. Names of those who sat with their legs hanging over the motherland's neck before the world gave them a cold shoulder, ripped them from their comfort and bound them with zip ties skies, feet, knees, thighs, let them exposed to the ocean tide for slave ships to find.
I am a product of the ancients, a network of griots, elders, women, and children dancing across the indigenous winds of Africa. A vast canopy of nomadic landscapes, panoramic lushness, and natural gems, matched only by the elegance of our queens and princesses. But the invaders came, callously placing us at the mercy of shackles and chains, the ferocity of transatlantic journeys in overcrowded ships, varying us to enslavement in distant lands. We are still carrying the emotional scars of brutality shown to our helpless women and children who handed us our DNAs.
Do not allow
DNA.
Destructive negative affirmations.
DNA.
Dominion, no altitude.
As evolution unfolds, so does my fetters tighten. I am attached to a salary I'll receive to pay my bills in a climate of wanton avarice and rising costs created by pestilences and wars. I am lucky to escape raves and family ties, yet still roped to TikTok, iTunes, endless WhatsApp messages, Instagram alerts, and another 1,000 hits from subscribers. I am not a victim of trees and ceilings anymore. No hard labor in cotton and tobacco plantations, no dogs let loose upon me by the dead trying to bury the living, but instead I now deal with tax collectors like ancient Rome, workplace adversities, mortgage and emotional trials, inequity, and some truly angry men in uniforms, to name a few.
And it is so hard to teach a man scared to death that fear is an illusion, and even harder to hide courage behind the couch and take it out only to use it once while the world is not looking, walking down the empty streets and not being afraid of nothing, no shedding of skin, just wearing a borrowed suit of armor, covered until you have to crawl back under the bed again, only to run moments later from the boogeyman.
There's another network that binds me to fear, the health and arms industry. Techno adepts who ensure that I sleep and rise with smartphones as my first god, the surveillance that keeps me on my toes, plus the temptations that tie my weaknesses to sturdy ropes to ensure I succumb to their every need.
Ropes that bind.
Ties that bleed. There's a tie that blends, not binds, a transcendent spirit that projects itself into the harmony of oneness we call creation. Sweet Shyama, grant us a network of compassion, gratitude, self-giving, and forgiveness so that we may find our way home.
This has been Ties That Bind Us with Lantern Carrier and Zomkonto Kabatela. Thank you.
Well, if anybody has any oxygen in their lungs left, unmute yourself and give it up for Zomkonto and Lantern Carrier.
Always fantastic. What a pairing.
I want to collab.
Oh,
What a great poem.
that's a lot of love.
Good to hear you both. Wow.
Dig deep and then
Wow.
take it home. Unchain yourselves. Oh my God, what work.
Yeah.
Thank you all,
Right,
thank you.
like,
Thank you,
that's just-
Zomkonto.
That's just, listen, I've said that plenty of times. These folks, this community, everyone in it is valuable, is monstrous, and is phenomenal at what they do. And then these two incredible gentlemen have the nerve to want to, blow the rest of our brain cells with incredible work like that. Come on, gentlemen. Come on, gentlemen. Like, there is a host of quotes. And then you messed around and did the DNA thing. Like, come on. Come on, folks. Come on. God damn it. Almost Mickey D'd myself to death. Come on. Mistook my address for symmetry. All right. I'm not gonna ask anyone to follow that. Let's get into some information for the folks who might have came in late. All right. we are streaming live as we do every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, right? The Zoom number is on the screen. All right, you can plug into what I do. All the storm gods, the damn storm force season, I'm telling you, it's coming. Elemental.com. All right. Sign up tonight is closed, right? Sign-ups happen 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Sign up, you go to the newyureka.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on the Monday that you want to perform, and you are looking for an artist RSVP ticket. Realize that these tickets will not even populate until 24 hours before the show. Also coming up this Wednesday, the Slam, Wednesday Night Slam, hosted by La Bruja. All right, Thursday with the Queen, Thunderlung. Listen, we like to say Monday night is the circus or Inferno night. Thursday is really, we call therapy. You're going to get the guitar styles of Bill Elkin. You're going to hear Catman Bill. You may hear Joski C, right? Excuse me. But listen, Thursday is really where it's at. Get your life. Thursday night, plug in with the Queen. All right. Also, Friday night slam with Jive Poetic. And as my song guy brother Paul Fuego mentioned, right, Voices and Vibes is happening this weekend. Listen, you can use your phone to scan the QR code right now and get information on how to get tickets and all that. All right, make sure you're plugging in. It is sure to be an incredible night. All right, let's get back to this poetry. Listen, folks, we are not done yet. I truly hope that y'all have gotten the extra butter on the popcorn because we are on the move. Coming up next, a newer member of our community. This cat does this. All right. I talked to this cat offline and he put me up on some game. Listen, man, it's people like this that really, really do this, that keep you inspired to do this. The one and only CP Mays. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online, man. It is good to see you. As always, the floor is yours.
Hey, can everybody hear me? All right, cool. Hopefully I don't get my dog started because you know when I go in and read, I just lose my mind. So CP Mays, that's my IG and that's my Facebook. And here's a poem. 2 tours, 2 sea service deployment ribbons, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, NATO Medal, Good Conduct Medal, Armed Forces Service Medal, Certificate of Commendation, Meritorious Commendation, Rifle Expert Shooting Badge. 3 of my band of brothers never made it home alive. Another a failed suicide attempt. 2 murder trials. Hashtag mouth of a Marine. Hashtag Marine Corps made. Hashtag PTSD. Hashtag pen named me. Hashtag CP Mays. Have you ever made a goddess bite her lip? Made splinters jump off the cross through his wrist? Made from a carpenter's son's last supper's toothpicks. I am the razor blade that razor blades shave with. Hashtag mouth of a Marine. Hashtag Marine Corps made. I'm a thunderstorm. I'm a tornado. I'm a category high 5 guard. I'm a Marine. I'm a motherfucking hurricane. I'm an I don't give a good goddamn trapped in an I don't give a fuck's body. So tell the mirror to tell darkness that last year I just couldn't afford to pay God's light bill. Stop fist fighting lightning over lightning, Maze. Stop misplacing your prescription shot glasses, Maze. Stop doing donuts tipsy drunk around her halo, Maze, and stop playing with your penis as if it's a piñata a pretty girl can knock the candy right out of. Make no mistake, her matchstick mouth's beautiful as if it's a second chance in the second language to speak liquid, sketchy skin fluidly. I hung my halo on the coat rack in her smile and begged vocal cords in her heartstring session skin to sweat me a symphony. Oh, believe me, beautiful, I've left cave paintings inside the walls of women and walked away from them with whiskey on my breath and water turned into wine in my liver. All of our former lives held their lighter fluid hands together as they burned bridges and flags in our name. Fresh kept razors kept in medicine cabinets, kept open doors above your wrist, kept ashtrays filled with charred cigarette butts, filled with cute stoner half lipstick stained joints, empty high-end beer bottles on the kitchen counter, and four-stained Malbec and Merlot wine glasses laying fetal position in the kitchen sink. Hashtag PTSD. Hashtag Marine Corps named me. Hashtag CP Mays. Thank y'all.
Damn it, CP Mays.
Wow.
CP Mays.
That's great,
Oh,
CP.
man.
Again.
Oh, you are
Wow.
experience.
Wow.
That's the shit right
My
there.
God.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Like goosebumps.
Okay. Listen. That's what happens, right? Like it just you can't help but feel that energy, right? Damn it, CP Mays. That cat said Marine Corps made. I guess I'm partly Marine Corps made. My father was in the Marines, fought in Vietnam. I guess that makes me part bananas. Listen, couldn't afford to pay God's light bill. God, real quick, CP Mays, I want to ask you a question about a line in your poem before I go crazy about it.
Yeah.
You said I hung my halo on the coat rack of her smile. Is that correct?
Yeah, the coat rack in her smile.
Got you. I'm just making sure if it was in or on. Thank you for that clarification.
No
Either
problem.
way, it's damn it bananas. Or
Appreciate
like
you.
our sister on the West Coast, Bianca, says, it's bananas. 100%, man. Appreciate you for putting that effort into that and hanging your halo on her. Damn it, on her coat rack. Woo! Excuse me.
Appreciate
Plus the
you.
wine glasses laying in the fetal position. Like, come on, man. Listen,
I got-
PTSD is a real thing, and I love the fact that you are walking in that truth, right? My father again was a Marine, right? Semper Fidelis, like once a Marine, always a Marine, right? You're always going to be that. So I appreciate you for stepping into that and bringing all of it to us.
Thank you. Thank y'all for the respect and love. That gives me courage and honor to keep writing like this. So thank you.
Listen, if you don't write like that, you'll be hearing from me saying, what the hell is going on with your pen, man? Because listen, this a mainstay of our community. Make sure you are giving Pete Mays a follow. All right, coming up next, a newer member of our community has clearly got bitten by the Monday night bug, and we are looking forward to what they have coming up next. The one and only Nemo Sum. Welcome back. We are looking forward to hearing what you have this evening. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you. Floor is yours.
Hey, it's great to be here. The amount of talent in this room is amazing, really incredible. So I have, you can find me on Instagram, Nemo Sum Words with underscores. And then you can go to nemosumwords.com and you can see my first book there, downloaded a digital copy. I'm going to read a micro triptych, which is 3 thematically connected micropoems. And the theme for this micro triptych is the ties that bind. When my father decided it was time to go, he went. There was no hug that would hold him, but I did make him cry. On the day he walked away, he turned back with tears in his eyes. I think in that moment, leaving me hurt. Knowing this was the forever kind of goodbye stung him a little bit. A few tears on a causeway shed for a son who was never good enough for him to stay. I went back to a place I'd lived before, fully expecting to find a haunted house, but there was nothing. found out the river came one day and took all the houses and the street. And if there were any ghosts, they must have been swept away. There's a pot on the burner, and the little bubbles are swirling while the steam rises. They say the stew is supposed to smile. The only light is above the stove. The spice dances on the inside of my nose just enough for little tears. There's music in the kitchen and the sound of laughter in from down the hall. She isn't here, but I think she's in the room, or at least she's close by. And now it's quiet, and the pot is gone, and the stove is gone, and the light is gone, and I'm sitting in the dark, but I'm okay, because all I feel is the warmth of the hand that's holding mine in this safe place. Thank you.
Now that's what I'm talking about. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Nemo Sue.
Wow, Nemo, that is
Great
just right to the heart. That is part of your soul. Thank you.
Beautifully neat words.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
No, it's, and first of all, shout out for the micro triptych that you brought us this evening. Secondly, it's never easy to intertwine real emotion, right? But the only way that you're going to get the real emotion is if you put the real emotion in, So I love the fact that you were willing and fearless enough to put that real emotion into your poetry. It is definitely felt, right? And multiple people felt that the stew is supposed to smile. Ooh, listen, when you in the kitchen and you getting down what you doing, listen, it's gonna smile, right? You might get some of them little tears. Yeah, some of that seasoning. What they say, if you're not sneezing, it ain't seasoned. It happens, you know what I mean? So definitely get in that kitchen, man, learn some things, put your nose in there. Appreciate you, Nemo, for coming through and bringing us that incredible work. Thank you indeed. All right, coming up next. Oh, I'm so glad that this poet has returned, right? Their pen just does some different things. And I'm glad that they have come back to share their work with us, and I'm looking forward to what they have brought this evening. The one and only Lady Catherine May. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is good to see you. Floor is yours.
Thank you, Elemental. And I do want to take just a moment to express gratitude for this community. It's so special and so healing to be able to show up. And I know I'm not the only one that has been going through some hard things in the past year or two or several. And I just want to say that this community has really brought a lot of light to my life. So thank you to everyone that is here and that has been here in the past. Here is my poem. We've traced the perimeter daily, a tilt with a land rolling underfoot, our souls flat, heels anchored to the dirt. We've traced the perimeter daily. A tilt with land rolling underfoot, boulders toss their bodies downhill to find each other at the end fulfilled. A tilt with a land rolling underfoot. Boulders toss their bodies downhill. Earth, she makes her own trails, yet we fail to follow the coattails. Boulders toss their bodies downhill. Earth, she makes her own trails. She sews with the threads of love divine, cross-stitching vines across our outlines. Earth, she makes her own trails. She sews with the threads of love divine. I see life in the fabric of a wetland seep, layering versions of past Under possibility, she sews with the threads of love divine. I see in the fabric of a wetland seep to soften a bit if one chooses to leap. It is not safer to exist on the sidelines. I see life in the fabric of a wetland seep to soften a bit if one chooses to leap. Her net will not keep us from death, no. Unnoticed as the underground flow to soften a bit if one chooses to leap. Her net will not keep us from death, no. Love is in the dust that sprinkles the slope. Confetti made from collision alone. Her net will not keep us from death, no. Love is in the dust that sprinkles the slope. We see it. We've traced the perimeter daily. Confetti made from a collision alone. Love is in the dust that sprinkles the slope. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Lady
Catherine.
Catherine.
Beautiful.
Made from
Always
collision.
beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Your pen is powerful.
Just beautiful.
Right? Tell it, Tab. Tell it. Right? All of them. Right? Listen. I love y'all so much. But listen, we all have so much lung capacity, right? And y'all are just a bunch of thieves in here this evening, stealing all the air out of my lungs, like every single person. Like, I need this oxygen to breathe, y'all. Y'all keep stealing it. Oh, y'all are amazing. Y'all are amazing, right? Y'all heard what she kept saying, right? Earth, she makes her own trails. Come on. She sews with the thread of love divine. Oh my goodness. What? Her net will not keep us from death. See, I warned y'all about Catherine. She really does this. Thank you, Catherine, for being a valued member of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with Catherine. She does this. I told y'all, this community is just full of so many incredible people. And coming up next, we have a new voice, right? But I know a little bit about this voice, that they are no rookie. They're no slouch, right? This may be the first time that they're hanging out, but anytime someone has an AKA, don't let them fool you. This poet is one of those poets, all right? Unmute yourself, the one and only Sharika Cole, AKA, or formerly known as Black Swan. Please, let the folks know where they can find you, all right? I'm not gonna scream at you just yet. I'll let the community scream at you. It is great to see you. Please let the folks know where they can find you. Welcome, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. I am so honored to be here. I am Sharika Cole. I'm also known as Black Swan. I'm from the Carolinas, but I'm here in Texas now, and I'm just honored to be here. And I'm just like, I forgot how much this does good to my soul. This is why I poetry. So, new tag, this is why I poetry. All right, so I'm just gonna thank you guys. This is my first time here, and I already feel like I'm at home. So I'm just gonna read a piece that I wrote last year, and I hope it blesses somebody. Giving birth is gross and gooey and astonishing. It's painful. It's the Lord, get this baby out of me kind of labor. It's what you mean, there's another one in there kind of labor. Why do you think it's called the delivery room? I'll tell you. One day God was playing planet ping pong with the Holy Spirit. The stars were like, there they go again. Jesus was referee, but a fair one. Not like the ones that held the saints from going to the Super Bowl, y'all remember. No, Jesus knew that the stars, he knew what the stars couldn't see. He knew that whenever God plays planet ping pong with the Holy Spirit, something golden was about to happen. So he watched diligently and waited excitedly as God and the Holy Spirit went head to head across the heavens. And we each tapped. The planet being used in the game went back and forth, soaring across the skies, then all the way over to the Holy Spirit, to the planet. This wasn't a game, it was life, getting stronger with each hit. With every stride or pitch across the sky, time was as slow as sloth telling a joke. You're just waiting for the punchline, like you've been waiting for God to answer your prayers, like you've been trying day in, day out, giving your best, like, Lord, where is my blessing? When is my deliverance? Why are people leaving? How are we going to pay for this? Man, the time between God and the Holy Spirit feels like forever. But sometimes during the game, Jesus sees you, the planet, getting tired, getting weary, starting to unravel. He blows his whistle, steps in and calls a timeout. This is where the real light happens. Jesus wakes you up out of your sleep, stops you in your tracks wherever you are, and tells you, because of your faith in me, your endurance with me, here is a golden key, a fresh anointing, and a planet-sized bottle of water, because I know you're thirsty. He says, I'm renewing your strength right now. Those arrows that were sent to kill you have been reversed. And your elevation is evolving. Let's call it holy. Yes, let's call it grace. This golden key opens the door to my place. Wherever you go, keep it. Hold it tight. When they tell you to give up, and they will, use the key. When they talk about you, use the key. When they poke holes in your heart, use the key and wait as God, your Father, the Holy Spirit, and I put a spin on you, our favorite planet, back into the heavens. You begin to spin so fast, you emit the brightest beam of lights the stars have ever seen. They gather, watching you zip back and forth between God and the Holy Spirit. Jesus he's back in the sidelines with pride on his face, like, yeah, that's my planet. Watch him go. So you go to God, and then you go to the Holy Spirit, back and forth, and then you zoom across the sky, zipping through time and space. The light inside of you so powerful, it explodes in every direction. The Holy Trinity has hit you so hard, you have become something else, not a planet, not a star. You have become grace. And all the stars across the heavens go back into the delivery room, and a virtue is born. And somebody asks you, so what did you give birth to? You gather yourself, you wipe away your sweat and your tears, and you say, grace. Thank you, guys.
I don't think I have to say it all. Y'all let her know. Unmute yourself. Give it up for sure.
One of us.
One of
us.
us.
Yes.
One of us.
One of us.
Birthing the grace.
That was just incredible. Thank you.
Nice
Thank you for
work.
sharing.
Great job, Sharika.
Bring it home at the end there. Nice.
Grace. Look, shout out Poet Talk in the building. Listen, you heard the people, right? You heard the people. The only thing missing was my voice to let you know you have truly fucked up, because now you need to be here every Monday night, right? I already got one half of the squad. We're going to try to make sure we lock in both sides of the team. Listen, we appreciate new voices, right? We love welcoming new voices into our community. And you make it easy, right? You make it easy when you come through with, like, you know, you have become grace, right? A virtue is born, right? Elevation is evolving. Come on, right? That is the spirit of poetry, right? Thank you for coming through this evening. Welcome, and we hope to see you. Make sure you're putting your information in the chat so the community can let you know, it's Sunday, you need to sign up. All right, make sure you find yourself back here every Monday night as many times as possible. Appreciate you for coming through. All right. Coming up next, I don't see this cat. Did he slip in? Did I miss him? He's in the building with the Bay in the background. Listen, another newer member of our community. This cat continues to come through with all the fire that he writes. Man, I look forward to this cat's stories, and I think he's really, really starting to dig in now that he's getting back into writing. The one and only Daniel Fernandez. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Great to see you as always. Floor is yours.
What's up? You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. I've posted everything. You could just meet me there. For today, I am in theme, and I actually try to spot on the 3 minutes, but we'll see how that goes. So let's see. This one is called Tides That Bind. Let me go back to the common thing always gets me. Tides that bind. Cooking time, but I forgot the ingredients. Drove a car painted with pride, but didn't realize the dents. Open a book of hearts, suffocating on the content. Put the book down to ponder what it meant. Hard up a sleeve as I hand it to God. Let him choose my friends, but no, he decides to watch. An introvert, so the thoughts are nonstop. Muster up the courage to climb to the top. Socialize as the confidence grows. Open the third eye for those who approach. Don't fake it, just be you, as the saying goes. No need to be fearful because you're not alone. Many hide behind the words that conversation explode. Mix the intention that's unable to denote. Let the vibe consume you as if you're at home. Watch and be careful, don't have your weakness exposed. Stop kicking rocks, hold your head up. Don't censor the love by using drugs. We numb reality when living starts to suck, but we gotta keep it moving like the wheels on a bus. Life jolts us forward, but not to impose. Spit a phrase so smug like those who post. Ask for help before the ropes around the throat. Been there personally, but stop before I began to choke. Speak and communicate, it'll surprise you. Show everyone your voice and the rest will continue. Meet one or another, have the presence pinned too. Humans are magnetic, so be careful on how much you contribute. Once you throw your pulse, it becomes an issue. Some are clingy while others abuse. All depends on your point of view. Tears run like rivers unless given a tissue. Smile as if you're at a venue. Even if you fake it, no one will say it isn't true. Get involved like a tribute. Show respect so that the evil can be reduced. Stay within a radius like see you in a few. Healthy for the brain like a bowl of fruits. Puzzle the mind because different solutions are better than one. Always have an exit strategy because you struggle when there is none. We soak up agony like a sponge. Let it destroy us and have our egos take a plunge. It's all perspective. You understand at some point. Things will make the most sense when they disappoint. Don't carry sadness like a bag of coins. It transmutes because the emotion is a decoy. It evolves and becomes a burden that annoys. Depression visits pain, but only to exploit. Tides that bind. Love life, my friend. Don't hate yourself because others don't comprehend. We force an extra hour to tie up loose ends. Life doesn't have pity, but it likes to pretend. Kills us from within due to lacking bread. I don't make enough to live. Happiness in shreds. Exhausted because the effort forced you to bed. Drained your energy until the motivation is dead. Life blue-balled my success, unraveling my secrets to use them as leverage, gaslighting my personality for access and control. Charisma manipulates the mind and soul, writing ambiguous poems that are personal and idyllic. Sympathize pain that's graphic and poetic. Keep the truth from others as if I'm schizophrenic. As I vibe alone with the help of psychedelics, I've been pushed and shoved like money in a bank. Drowned myself because I was afraid to advance. It took 12 years to finally take a stand, throwing my soul into a passion that almost got me hanged. 1 foot at a time, just give it a chance. When you succeed off that push, give your heart a big thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, damn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Daniel Fernandez.
Danielle, bring it on again.
Love your rhymes. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Just so good. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you so much.
Daniel, that was great. And by the way, you made it under 3 minutes. So congratulations. Good. I love it.
Awesome.
Appreciate it.
DG. My apologies, DG. I'll meet you if you know. I want to make sure that we don't leave any love behind, like Ray J likes to say. You know what I mean? Make sure you get it in there, DG, please.
Oh, just thank you. I really appreciate it. It's so nice to hear you again and to have you here. You are part of the community now. Blessings.
Thank you, DG. Right? Again, I don't even have to tell y'all this stuff, right? The community, this is what I love about this, right? Again, if we were in a live open mic, you can pull each other aside, you know, hey, I'm at the bar, sitting there, whatever. You can communicate with each other. You know what I'm saying? We don't always get that in the Zoom, but I want to try to make sure we can do a little bit of that here and there. So thank you, DG. Thank you, Daniel, for coming through with that. Listen, there are so many things that you do in your work, right? You got rhythm, you got flow, right? Like I said, get involved like a tribute, right? Healthy for your brain like a bowl of fruit. Come through, man. I dig it, man. For real, for real. Appreciate you for coming through with all that energy. Like DG said, you are one of us, and you already know how bad you fucked up because you got to be here every Monday night already. So coming down to the last three, we are rounding home, heading toward the home base. Listen, these next three poets, as I said all night, folks, these folks do this, right? They kind of do this. So prepare yourself. Coming up next, one of the newer members of our community, he's been doing this for quite a while, has an incredible book about his experience doing what we do, and he's kind of damn cool about it too. The one and only CC Arshagra. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online and plug into your incredible work. It is great to see you as always, man. Floor is yours.
Oh man, thank you. Much love. I got to share screen. Is that going to happen? Are we good? All right. So while that's coming up, here it is. Live from the New Eurekan Cafe because of you last week. You made an announcement about the event Wednesday night. And so a number of things had to go wrong for this to come right. And I ended up signing up, and here it is. Can you hear? Can you hear?
We cannot hear the audio. Make sure you
right.
share the sound as well.
Yep. So I got to do it one more time. Stop sharing. It's coming through. Sorry about that. Click the little share sound.
CC, we are here for it, man. Let's do it.
All right, here it is. Oop, wrong one. Son of a bitch. No, here it is. No, it's coming. It's coming, folks. It's coming. Son of a bitch. I got to pick the right video. Oh no, don't tell me that went down wrong. All right, we're gonna have to play it from the editing program.
It's all good, CC. Truly, extra raw is how we like it.
Here it is, right.
Man. Yeah, let's do it.
20 years ago, I wrote 3 chapbooks. One was called Scared Sacred, about getting up here and doing this for the first time. The other was called
sound?
Death of an Ego. That means you did it once. Now you got to get the fuck out of your own way, because that shit's going to kill you. And the other was called What Manner of Character. 20 years later, I put the 3 together. That book is in my hand. It's my life work. You can't find it on Amazon. Fuck Jeff Bezos. If you don't got no money, just give me your name and address and keep in touch. I got shit going on. I really believe that this microphone and the words that she opened with was not a toy. The law of attraction shit, you're already here. So get out of your own way with that thing. This is called Man or Woman. If there's men out there that haven't signed up yet, whatever the hell that means, men, all right? Fuck. You know, I was gonna do this thing when, okay, you ain't got the O's. Did that go over? I got that from Betty White. You know, you got the balls, you got the O's, and anyway. Yeah, men have ovaries too. Okay, here we go. Thank you, little help. Man or woman. To understand the depth of his phallic dominion, he has no rule over her. She is never a gender slave of his ignorant sperm drive. She is not here to be inhumanity breeding. The only protection he was born to provide is being, always choosing to breathe his empathy into her. We are soul forms accountable to death, dying constantly. We are here to fall into love learns, to become the equal of her emotional heat, her soul aflame. She's not here to become slavery in the making, manufacturing worth by mass producing competing worthlessness, as if she must become his ignorance to be equal or free of womb's nature. A male is nothing if he refuses to wear the mirror of her living womb. His vulnerability to be his strength, as is the end of his weak machismo. And with or without his merging with true love, constantly moving into the equilibrium of alive with her. Time dies, love lives. There is no waste of love unless you waste her. Unless she wastes love just to become his power to own life and remain ignorant of love beyond death is. Alone, he is still given a choice to balance life and death, to share life's high wire with her, not to be the sorry waste of every unknown orgasm leading him into rape culture, or to empty his pride's death and fall into her welcome arms. The air of emptiness comes, leaving no blame. To love beyond debt and debtor, giving her the choice to receive and not take love. Her pleasure is his choice to give his body to her lust's liberty and freed choice, not to be ignorant of a full-grown sperm walking a cradle-to-grave existence. A male occupying no more than the excuse of a man on top of her. Man is of woman to earn her wonder. Love yourselves, people. All a fucking miracle. And if you don't know how beautiful you are, you're lying to yourself. Don't do that.
Wow. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CCR Shagru.
CC, nice performance, nice poem. Thank you.
Nice
Yeah,
work.
good to see you live at the Eureka.
That was a
Good
beautiful
job.
night.
Okay, CC on the stage, right? Clowning on him, like doing him big, right? Deadpan said something that was really specific, and I don't want to unmute you, Deadpan. I know we're gonna hear from Deadpan in a couple seconds, but I want to unmute you, Deadpan, because what you said kind of stuck out to me, and I reiterated that. Tell the folks why you feel like that.
I said in the chat, it takes a real man to write that poem and not just write it, say it on stage. Because It takes a real person to do that because we live still in an incredibly sexist world. As a woman, it's scary to walk in this world every day. So I thank you for that powerful piece. Thank you for being an ally to women and supporting us. And I can't wait to meet you in person. So thank you for doing that.
Listen, thank you, Deadpan. Appreciate you. Listen, again, it's not just me. All right. I can let you know how much of an incredible poet that you are, right? But you need to also know how you touch your fellow poets, right? You said you're never a gender slave, right? Her soul aflame, right? Time dies, love lives. Like, come on, CC, come on, man. And then the cat had the nerve to have that dope ass hat on his head on the stage. Like, come on, man. That's how you do it, CC. Appreciate you, man, for bringing that through. All right, and sharing that. Like Deadpan said, man, it does take a real man to be able to be in touch with his feelings and say those types of things. Listen, man, hey, I don't care what the dude is gonna say, right? But the woman that you hope is listening to that, she will hear that. Definitely. And you'll get more than a handshake, more than likely. And I don't mean anything physical, right? Because the love that you get from someone that you love is really priceless, man. Thank you, CC, 100%. All right, coming up next, right? This cat, and then listen, I know, first of all, there's a big time difference here that we're dealing with, but this next poet always make sure that his alarm clock is always on point to either sign up or to be here on time. Always the one and only Unmesh Mohitgar, curator of his own open mic. He's got a new book out. Listen, this man is in all sorts of things. It is always great to see you, Unmesh. Let the folks know where they can find you and plug into your incredible work. Always great to see you. Floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to be here. And yes, my new book is out, Let's Unmesh Life. And it's doing very well. So please support. So I'm loving it. And I've got open mic, Let's Unmesh Life with the same name at 10:30 a.m. New York time. Please do join, and here we go. This is something which I wrote at Mark Fishbane's workshop on shadows. I am scared, sitting at the corner of the road. The sun is shining. Dejections of life have broken me. Now, with me is only my shadow. Even my shadow hides when it is pitch dark. It loves light and I see no light. The shadow looks at me. I can see eyes in my shadow, only eyes. A silhouette with eyes. The eyes are reassuring. The eyes of the shadow are full of light. The shadow tries to hug me, but she can't. If you get too close to what you love, the love dies. The shadow dies. There is a Sanskrit saying, Ati Parichaya Avadnya, over familiarity breeds disrespect. How is my shadow going to disrespect me? Is she going to leave me? Am I going to walk shadowless in broad daylight? Will the light allow shadow to run off from his clutches? I felt the shadow was jailed with me. It has gotten so used to slavery that the thought of freedom scares her. I look deeper in the eyes of the shadow. I can see her name written, Mruganaini, girl with eyes as beautiful as that of deers or a gazelle. I did not tell anything about my pain. It did not console me. It did not cry for me. It was like a betrayal. Even my shadow don't cry for me. But deep there inside, I saw the light which even now I am holding tight. I am holding tight. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Oh my goodness, to have that kind of power at that kind of time of the morning. Come on. Unmute yourself, give it up for Unmesh.
Yay, Unmesh, I like your
Unmesh,
work so
you are
much.
just the master of the verse there. Always love to hear it.
Always great to hear your words, Unmesh. Always.
I mean, for real, right? Like ever since I met Unmesh, he's been doing this, and doing it well. Let me tell you, this dude, he continues to do it, and now he's making space for others, right? Such a clever ass idea. I gotta give it up to you, Unmesh. You named your book after your open mic. That just connects the world so many different ways. Such a dope ass idea, Unmesh. For real. That's marketing 101, people. Plug it all together, baby. Woo! That's dope, Unmesh. For real. Make sure you're plugging into Unmesh, all his incredible work. Make sure you're getting his book and following through his open mic on Saturday morning. All right. We are rounding out the evening with our closer, who is usually our opener. But listen, folks gotta take care of what matters to them, right? Shout out to the baby, Reggie in the building. Hopefully they're doing good, right? But listen, this poet made sure that we still made space for everybody else, and we're gonna make sure that we make space for them. The one and only, our resident beanie goddess, Deadpan Lizzie. Unmute yourself, let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Floor is yours.
Thank you to you, Beanie Blessings, and our community, everyone. Thank you, E and RMT, for holding space for me today. My dog was not doing so earlier, so I wasn't sure if I could make it, but I did. So thank you to all the poets that came before me and blessing the space, and for our newest member, Sharika. That was scripture. So thank you for bringing that scripture tonight. You are one of us, most certainly. You can find me on IG, ES_Strauss, where you can find the link to my Broadway Run page for Broadway Care Equity Fights is raising money for that nonprofit. The link is good till April 3rd, so I'll drop that after this. This is a prose. It's called Slightly Smooth Metaphors for Me. Jack Frost has not just nipped hard at my epidermis and nose, but heart and mind. They temporarily have replaced my hands with hooks, not to harm others with, to teach me lessons that life will be slightly challenging. Who do I want on the Jolly Roger with me? I cannot steer a ship to safety, delegate, empower, for all, if my crew's values do not slightly align with mine, i.e., what's wrong with transparency? There's that word again, slightly. I do not need a network of souls that all think alike. I did not care for George Orwell's 1984, so why would I want to live it? And I cannot navigate the waves without a moral compass. The clock will always be ticking. However, I do not need to interact with the crocodiles that are always the timekeepers, because they are not just slightly scared of evolving, they are petrified. Continuing to keep their faces down in the water instead of on dry land. Even water signs need sunlight every once in a while, where life will always be slightly unpredictable. When Jack nips at me, they are showing me pain, and though I did not care for Orwell's wordy stories, I appreciated his foreshadowing. We will always see the bullies before the leaders, those who believe money equals control, when the only credit it shows, narcissism. I'm going to keep riding the tides with those who do good, with my word, community, not the pirates who only look out for themselves, their word, power. Thank you. Beanie Blessings.
Oh, Deadpan does it again. Unmute yourself. Give it up for
Yeah,
Deadpan.
what a way to close the night, Deadpan. Yeah,
Thank you, fam.
just like you opened it every
So
week.
amazing.
Feeling
seeing
to
you
close.
through
Beautiful
the
night. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Call it out.
Good
Call it
to
out.
to the end.
1984.
That's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fear is afraid. That's good.
Oh, right, CC. Right. Oh, listen, you know, I think most folks heard this part, right? She said, I replaced my hands with hooks, right? Like, come on. Like, I don't need to touch you and feel you. Crocodile always the timekeeper, right? She said, even water signs need sunlight sometimes. Keep that in mind, right? Be aware of those who think money equals control, right? There are plenty of them trying to deceive you 100% of the time. All right, folks, we have reached the end of the evening. All right, let me shout out a couple of folks before we check out. Shout out Coolest Cat, Cool's the other side of the pillow. Dark Man Blues in the building. I saw Judith Morgan in the building. Rich Daddy Glennon stepped in for a minute, sending love and healthy vibes to Noelia Cerna and her baby that she just gave birth to. Shout out Denisha and Melinda Lucas. Listen, to every poet who came through this evening, top to bottom, front to back, side to side. I love all of y'all because y'all make Monday night this crazy madness that I can't get enough of. It is truly the jump off of the week. Like Mia said, like many folks have said, life's not right without Monday night. I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do it without Monday night. It has saved my life in so many different ways. All of y'all are truly lifesavers. So now that's 2 licenses you have. You're a lifesaver and you have a poetic license. So I appreciate all of y'all for being here this evening. Make sure you are plugging in with the cafe in all of the aspects that they do. All right, the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter. Make sure you're following Advocate of Words. Plug into what I do, elemental.com. Damn it, so many other things. Shout out Ron Mark Thompson, right? Dopest cat in the car, and dopest producer in our community. Listen, again, next week, hero or shero and role model. All right, I am truly looking forward to everyone who comes through to rip with that. Listen, I love all y'all, man. I'm gonna end it tonight. And I'm putting y'all on notice. I told y'all, it's coming out in the email every week. So get yourself ready because it's gonna come at you. All right. I'm gonna close us out tonight. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for hanging with us this evening. As always, I look forward to next week. With that being said, good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting the spirit of Miguel Agarin into your home. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the New Eurekan Poets Cafe, hosted by one and only Elemental, baby. On behalf of the community, I, Elemental, would like to say good night, sweet poet. Peace, y'all. Till next week, baby.